Hello beautiful people, in this video we are going to talk about psychology. Psychology is defined as the scientific study of behavior and mental processes. Etymological meaning of psychology. Psychology comes from two Greek words, psyche and logos. Psyche means soul and logos means study, knowledge. Psychology is a latest science which has emerged from philosophy and passed through many controversial definitions to achieve the present operational definition of psychology as a science of mental process and behavior. From traditional study of soul, let's study these definitions in detail. Phase 1. Psychology is the science of soul. Psychology has history of 2500 years. It was the time span of Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle. Initially, psychology was known as knowledge of soul or science of soul. According to this definition, psychology is rational course of study of soul. But later on, questions like what is soul and how can it be studied arose. So the term soul was rejected because of its immaterialistic nature, having unscientific, unpractical, and ambiguous explanation. Phase number 2. Psychology is the science of mind. At this stage, the psychologists started to label psychology as the science of mind instead of soul. This term refers to the study of mind, which represents the total mental processes of human. But later on, the questions like what is mind and how can it be studied arose, for which there were no satisfactory answers with the psychologists. Therefore, this definition was rejected. Phase number 3. Psychology is the science of consciousness. In this stage, the psychologists started to label psychology as the science of consciousness. Here, consciousness refers to the awareness of situation, or consciousness as the quality or state of awareness, or of being aware of an external object or something within oneself. William James, in his book Principles of Psychology, published in 1890, wrote about the description and explanation of state of consciousness. Wilhelm Wundt, who established the first psychology laboratory at University of Leipzig, Germany, proposed introspection method for the study of consciousness. E.B. Tishner also defined psychology as the study of consciousness. But later on, questions like what are consciousness, what are conscious, subconscious, and unconscious activities of mind? Is introspection subjective and is it scientific? Phase number 4. Psychology is the science of behavior. In this latest stage, the psychologists started to label psychology as the science of behavior. The term behavior includes all the motor and cognitive activities like walking, swimming, and cognitive activities like thinking, reasoning, imagining, etc. According to this definition, its sphere became broad, and how it includes all the animals and humans' behavior. According to R.H. Tholis, psychology is the positive science of human experience and behavior. So we can conclude that psychology first lost its soul, then its mind, and then its consciousness. At present, only its behavior exists. According to earlier psychologists, the function of psychology was to study the nature, origin, and destiny of the human soul. But soul is something metaphysical, and it cannot be seen, observed, and touched, and we cannot make scientific experiments on soul. In the 18th century, psychology was understood as the science of mind. William James defined psychology as the science of mental processes, but the word mind is also quite ambiguous, as there was confusion regarding the nature and functions of mind. Modern psychologists define psychology as the science of consciousness. James Soley defined psychology as the science of the inner world. Wilhelm Wundt defined psychology as the science which studies the internal experiences. But there are three levels of consciousness: conscious, subconscious, and unconscious, and so this definition also was not accepted by some psychologists. Now William M.C. Dougal defined psychology as the science of behavior. W.B. Belsbury And J.B. Watson also defined psychology as the science of behavior. So this was all about the meaning of psychology, how the term was coined, and I hope you got it. Thank you so much for watching this video.